Eden Santos, Net 25.
Good morning po, Speaker and Senate President. Regarding lang po dun sa budget na panawagan po ni PBBM na mapasa po on time, syempre hindi naman po mapopondohan itong mga bills na ito, kulang po yung ating 2025 national budget.
Maraming salamat, if I may, to the SP. Mamayan pong konti kasi kahapon po lang nakatanggap na yung certification of urgency, yung bill natin na maging RA, yung House Bill for 10,800 or the fiscal budget of 2025 of the administration. Mamayang gabi po, maipapasa natin po yan on third and final reading and ready for transmission in short order to the Senate. Kaya itong pinaka-importanting batas na hinaharap natin po sa Kongreso at tas yung kumpiyansa ko na ito ay maitatapos natin itong gabi dahil sa pagka-certify ng Malacanang urgent po itong batas na ito po. Kaya that will be done.
Halos kasabay ng Kamara kami nagsimula ng mga pagdinig kaugnay sa iba't ibang departamento para sa kanilang GAA sa darating na taon. At inaantabayan na namin ang pagbigay sa amin ng approved version o tinatawag nating GAB o General Appropriations Bill galing sa Kamara upang magsimula na ang talakayan kaugnay ng 2025 budget sa plenaryo ng Senado. Sa ngayon, on schedule ang mga pagdinig sa komite ng Senado at minaasahan namin na ito'y maaprubahan ng may sapat na panahon para ito'y mabasa at ma-review ng Pangulo kaugnay ng mga line item veto na maaari niyang gawin sa panukalang budget upang maging ganap na batas ito bago matapos ang taon.
Next question is Chona Yu, People's Journal.
Mr. Speaker, speaking of budget, what will happen to the budget of the Office of the Vice President?
Sa ngayon po, we are on our last day for plenary sessions at saka inaabangan natin ng OBP. So sa ngayon yata, hindi pa yata siya yung sumipot pero i-check up ko pagbalik ko sa Kongreso. Actually, dapat nandun ako ngayon pero nandito tayo. Pero inihintayin din natin yung representatives o si VP mismo.
Sir, what will happen pag hindi siya dumating? What will happen po pag hindi siya dumating, si Vice President?
Abangan ang susunod kabanata sumsaba. Pero hindi, sa totoo lang po, we will take this matter up shortly and you will soon be informed of its resolution po.
Thank you, sir.
Salamat.
Raquel Bayan, Radyo Pilipinas.
Sir, with the certification of the budget bill as urgent, ano pa po kaya ibang challenges na nakikita natin that can hinder yung on-time na passage ng budget bill?
Wala po na. Wala lang pong challenge kaya this will allow us kasi we are all set and scheduled to pass this on second reading tonight, but the certification of urgency allows us to similarly pass it within short order today at third reading. So handa-handa kami na ipasa itong GAB natin for transmission to the Senate in short order. Pero mamayang gabi, tapos na to.
Sir, can we expect that before Christmas ma-approve na po ni Pangulo Marcos yung budget kung on time naman po yung
Opo, yun po talaga ang hangarin na po natin ay para merong maligayang Pasko. Hindi lang para sa Pangulo sa Administrasyon pero sa taong bayan na meron tayong isang national budget for progress, prosperity, and development para sa buong sambayan Pilipinas.
Pia Gutierrez, ABS-CBN.
Hi, sir. Sir, speaking of the OVP's budget, can we get your comment or reaction on the VP's decision to repeatedly snub yung plenary debates, and will this lead to any delays in the passage of the budget?
Well, we'd like to very much see the Vice President, but she selected to absent herself, and she sent us letters explaining why, but of course, we would most appreciate her presence.
Ivan Mayrina, GMA 7.
Sorry again about the Vice President. Like she said, she has repeatedly chosen to snub the hearings of the budget, and as a result, some members of the House are saying that if she doesn't want to fulfill her duties as Vice President, they can call for her just to give up the post or just resign. What are your thoughts on this, Speaker?
Well, lahat ng mga congressman may ideas, meron silang opinion. But before tonight's end, we will come to a resolution, and that will be the act of the plenary. So instead of listening to individual opinions or comments, as you know, in Congress, we act in a consensus, as a consensus body, and as a collegiate body, rather. And so we will deal with that as soon as you allow us to leave this press con, so we can return back to normal programming. But we are very, very delighted to have this opportunity. Maraming salamat sa paglilinig nating ulat sa magandang unahin dyan sa LEDAC kanina po. Kasama natin ang mahal na Presidente, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
LEDAC-related question. Of course, these are priority measures you discussed at the LEDAC meeting this morning. Ano ho kaya ang pwede nyo ma-share sa taong bayan kung ano sa mga priority measures na ito ang top of the list? Kumbaga, priority of priorities.
Well, obviously, the number one is still the national budget. That is the matter of all legislation, where all the initiatives, programs, and, how the economy will be, reinvigorated or to make it move forward for everyone's benefit. Concomitant to that are other legislations that we have a whole gamut of them. I do not know where to begin. Kasi may 64 dito, pero I find them almost equally important, but we passed just about all. So I don't know where to begin other than the fact that I can give you the 64 priority legislations. I will maybe defer to the Senate President because some of the senators like to say that they are more deliberate on this. So baka they have something more, they prioritize some of the legislation. But in our case, we have taken them as a whole. And as we've already reported, we have passed this way in advance of schedule, taking it as a whole bundle host. But kasi mas marami din tayo makaka-deliberate kasi mas marami, 300 kami. Kaya we can actually, kaya natin tutukan talaga. Pero the Senate may appear to be more deliberate in its actions because they only have 24 senators to work on it. But we always defer, and actually in practice we usually even concur with Senate versions on matters and in order of the priorities. So I think I'll defer for this moment to the Senate President on what he determines or what he feels are top priorities.
The list of priority measures approved by LEDAC was actually an accumulation of both proposed legislation coming not only from the executive but also members of the Senate and Congress. So these are the priorities of both Congress and the executive. And the Speaker is correct. We are supposed to be 24, now only 23. So we have less people doing the same job that 300 members of Congress are doing. In fact, every member of the Senate has more than 2 committees to chair. Some members even chair as many as 4 committees. So given time and motion studies and given human limitations, we simply cannot do it as fast as the House does it, given available manpower to the Senate and to members of the Senate. But all of these are considered priorities. That's why we were able to proceed with respect to these bills, 12 of them in fact, ready, 5 enacted into law, 7 ready for the signature of the President in a span of 26 session days. Minus pa yung mga baha at pag-ulan na kinaharap natin itong nagdaang mga buwan. So we have about 41 remaining session days until the 19th Congress ends. We hope to be able to maximize it by way of passing most of these laws, including the advocacies at the local level of our friends and colleagues in the House, as well as those from members of the Senate.
We have room for one more question. Okay, Christian Isores, Radio 630.
To SP Cheese po, how can we assure the public po that the budget will be passed sa tamang timeline po sa Senate plenary given na may mga upcoming pa pong malalaking hearing din sa Senate like yung case po ni Pastor Quiboloy?
I throw the question back at you. Has it ever not been passed by the Senate on time, regardless of which year? It has always been passed by the Senate in time before we go on recess. But to address your question directly, the Senate has entered into a G2G agreement with the PICC whereby we were able to add or get 5 rooms because we only have 6 in the Senate to enable members of the Senate chairing the various committees to be able to do their respective hearings without affecting the budget process that we are currently undertaking.
Thank you, sir.
Any final words? This is quite historic to have both the Speaker and the Senate President here. Any final words, sirs?
Again, we welcome the leadership of Senate President Chis Escudero leading the Senate, making it even a more dynamic institution and one that has established more cohesion and coordination with the House. Thus, having an optimum output right now in terms of legislation, both at the national and local levels. So we look forward to working further with our colleagues in Congress at the Senate level under the leadership of Senator Chis Escudero in pursuit of President Ferdinand R. Marcos' priority legislative agenda. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Likewise, we thank the Speaker for his hard work for our country, and we thank the Speaker likewise for his leadership insofar as paving the way for smoother and better relations between the Senate and the House, which has resulted in the passage of many pieces of legislation, whether part of the priority or LEDAC measures, or simply national bills and local bills that have equal importance in the respective districts and constituencies. It will be able to help and serve. As I was mentioning earlier, for example, we need to still pass the extension of the IBC 13 Charter. We still need to pass the NHA Charter renewal. We need to pass the PISAM Charter renewal, because all of these will be lapsing by next year. So, although not included in the priority list of legislations, these are important bills, nevertheless, that needs congressional action. Again, thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much, Senate President Escudero and Speaker Romualdez. And maraming salamat Malacanang Press Corps. This concludes our press briefing.